It's Friday, which means it's time to recount the court stories that I covered in Saskatoon this week. A drug sentencing took place on Monday involving fentanyl, something we've been hearing a lot about in Saskatoon over the past couple years. This case stems from 2015, and it involves a man named Nathan Arthur Marsland. He was caught with 138 fentanyl pills after officers searched his home and garage. Now, police had been doing surveillance on him and another man after getting some tips from the public. Instead of going to trial, Marsland pleaded guilty to possessing fentanyl for the purpose of trafficking. He was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison, a proposed sentence by both the Crown and defense as being in line with similar cases. There was also a preliminary hearing this week in connection to Saskatoon's second homicide of 2016. Now, preliminary hearings are held to determine if there's enough evidence to send a case to trial. And yesterday, Kyle James Zer was committed to stand trial for the second-degree murder of his mother. We're not able to report the details of a preliminary hearing because the courts say that it could jeopardize a person's right to a fair trial. However, what we do know from police is that Zer was charged after a 63-year-old woman was found badly injured in her home on Balfour Street in the city's College Park neighborhood. She died from those injuries later in hospital. Sources eventually told the StarPhoenix that the victim was Zer's mother. It will take probably months before a trial date is set in this case. And yesterday I watched a man weep in the prisoner's box as he was sentenced for a machete robbery and a break and enter that he committed just hours apart. Braden Vincent Reimer robbed a random teenage girl on 8th Street while he was armed with a machete as she walked with a group of friends home from a movie in 2015. Now, earlier that day, he had also broken into a home in the Rosewood neighborhood, stealing money, jewelry, and other valuables. Court heard he was a meth user, but is now apparently drug-free. He was sentenced to a 20-month jail term, so just under 2 years. The Crown admitted it was on the lower end of the sentencing range for a street robbery because Reimer was only 18 years old at the time and did not have a prior criminal record. As always, you can read more about these stories on our website at thestarphoenix.com.